Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be doing episode number 2 of I Build Your Teams, the series where I build my viewers' teams into the best teams possible for My Team Unlimited, I say My Team Unlimited, I'm in my spiel from last year, for My Team Showdown, or for competitive play, whether that be King of the Court or any sort of tournaments that may be starting up pretty soon. But regardless, going to help y'all build the best teams you possibly can, and would really appreciate it before we hop into it if you do subscribe. We are literally so insanely close to 30K as I record this video. I think we're going to hit it today, like less than 20 subscribers away from 30K. So really do appreciate all y'all's recent support on the channel. If you haven't already, make sure you do hit that subscribe button. With that being said, without further ado, let's hop right into it. And we're going to start off with first team today, which comes in from my boy AOT Trey, who's actually a competitive player on Xbox. Really good player, and I actually played him in King of the Court this past weekend. Not going to tell y'all how that game went as of yet, because I'm going to drop a video on it later this week. But with that being said, Trey's a dog. I know he is. And his team's not bad. It's not great. His bench could use a little bit of work, specifically that JB at the 2, Vince at the 3. I don't love that. He was actually running D-Buck at the 2 when I played against him. I would move Vince to the backup 2, take JB out of the lineup entirely, and get Lou Dort for the backup 3. That's what I personally would do. I just think Dort gives you a better balance of defense and overall ability. You have 100K. He's about, what, 30, maybe? Also, your Braun is sellable. So just sell him. If you want to keep AD so you have a shooting center to replace Dwight with, if you're getting paint stat, I get that. But I would sell Braun 100%. Like, I'm not saying Braun's, he's not a bad card at all. He's still very usable. But if you're going to run, like, in my opinion, I think you run Dort at the backup 3, Vince backup 2, Sharif backup 1. Like, sell Braun. Get the MT back for him. That basically makes Dort free. If you sell Braun, you'll still around 100K MT. And I think that's the one spot that you can really upgrade this team right now. I love the Tim Duncan at the 4, Chet at the 5, though, because Tim Duncan at the 4 is the type of 4 that you want next to Chet, who can really guard bigs. And overall, I like the squad. I think it could use a little bit more work, and I think Lou Dort will be a big upgrade off that bench. Second squad today comes in from Oakley. He's got about 390K. Says he's no money spent apart from the rewards from buying the Hoff edition. So I guess he means the Pro Pass, the Hoff Pass. But regardless, this is a good team, but I do kind of have a something I'm confused about with this team is why is he starting Clint Capella at the center? For me personally, I would start Şengün at center, and this Gems of the Game AD would be my backup center. I would take Capella out the lineup entirely, and then that leaves you at the hole at the power forward position, but just slide Sharif over to the 3, from the 3 to the 4. Slide Posey from your backup small forward to your starting small forward, and get Lou Dort at your backup shooting guard, or backup small forward, and you're chilling. And honestly, I'd run Brunson over Tony Parker too at point guard. But I think this team is chilling, honestly. I think you're totally fine. I just don't understand why you'd run Capella, to be completely honest. So I think if you make those types of rotations, get Dort again, and then Sharif at the 4, start Şengün, AD back up 5, and start Posey at the 3, and then have Dort off the bench at the 3, like that's a good squad. And the thing about that is that doesn't cost you barely any MT. That's going to cost you 20K after you sell Clint Capella. Like you're going to be still sitting at 370, 360K MT. Like you're chilling still. So to me, I don't know. I think that gives you a lot of MT flexibility to going forward as well, which is nice. So for me, that's what I would do. And then I would wait and see what this content that's coming out tomorrow is going to look like and what next weekend's content looks like. Look for some top budget cards, maybe an elite budget value diamond, somebody like that drops, like Chris Paul was in the last drop. I don't know. Be interested to see what the next content is looking like. Nate has 793K MT. That is a lot of MT. As y'all can see, he has basically an entirely free squad, though, which honestly I think Camby is fine at backup center. His gold card is the best gold center in the game, so I would assume his Ruby card is actually pretty good. I haven't looked at that card, but if nothing else, he's going to be great defensively and capable enough as a Ruby center. I think he's probably a very solid card. So I have no problems whatsoever with Camby at the back of 5. Now my thing is, Wemby at 25 speed bothers me. Despite the fact he can shoot and he's 7'4", I just don't like the complete lack of speed. I really think that does kind of hold him back as a card. And I'm not saying he's an atrocity, because he's not. He's not terrible. He could be better. You know what I mean? So I think if you're going to upgrade, stay away from buying any pink diamonds. I get that you probably want to save a lot of MT, but you could at least go get like a Jeff Ruland or something like that. So get a upgrade at center. I think that would be a nice spot to upgrade. I think Lou Dort at small forward just makes sense. Like Roko's a gold card. I mean, I know he's got a good release, but he's a gold card. Let's get Roko out the lineup. Let's put Lou Dort there. Let's get Wemby at least in your backup in your last 3, and let's get Jeff Ruland there. That's about 110K MT so far, I'd say. And if I were going to spend one more little piece of MT, it would be backup shooting guard. The question is, do you really want to spend the amount of MT that's going to cost to get somebody like Anthony Parker? Because otherwise, I don't think there's really an Amethyst that's a really good value there or anything like that. So maybe not. That's kind of the last spot I'd consider upgrading right now. But the main two upgrades to me would be, who did I say? I said Lou Dort at small forward and Ruland at center. Also, ML Carr would be a good option at shooting guard if you wanted him. I think he's solid as well. So just a couple of upgrades there will allow you to still save the vast majority of your MT and yet get your team to a little bit more of the spot that you probably want it, where it's a little more competitive online and things of that nature. ESD says he has about 200k MT, needs a backup center. This squad, why is it looks like very blurry. I don't really know why. But he's got CP, Jalen Brunson, Raja, Eddie Jones, T-Mac, Bowen, Sharif, Jawan, Powell, and Wimby. This is not a bad squad at all. I think with 200k, you got plenty of MT for a center. The question is, do you want to spend a little bit more of it? Because if you want to spend like a lot of it, you can go get a Dwight or a Ronnie Cycli. Sorry. If you wanted to spend like half of it or a little bit less than half of it, Jeff Ruland's great. And I think Alperen Şengün is kind of also in that same mid-tier price range, probably just over 100k MT. I'm not exactly sure how much Şengün is going for right now, but I know it's not cheap, but I don't think he's quite as expensive as he was a couple days ago either. I think he's probably somewhere in that 120k MT price point. So one of those four guys would be my recommendation at center as well. Ruland's the cheapest, I think. Then you got Şengün, Ronnie, and Dwight. So one of those four guys, depending on who fits your play style the most, would be who I'd recommend at that center spot. And then finally, last two squads, we got Scott. He says, Scott evil. I hope you're not actually evil. But he says he's considering selling Wesley. I definitely sell this David Wesley. He's a Ruby Gems of the game. That means you can get 15k MT for him at least. I understand you have him, and it makes the dynamic duo with Baron look good, but the dynamic duos only work when both cards are on the court. So it doesn't actually boost Baron at all unless you have him on the court with David Wesley, and David Wesley's 5'11", so I don't see any reason to run that card. Now, besides that, Vince is more of a 2 guard than a 3. I would pick who I like more between Mullen and Tracy Murray and have them as your backup shooting guard, and I would have Vince starting at that shooting guard position. I don't know what level you are, but try to get to level 40 for T-Mac as quickly as you can. He'll be a big upgrade that you can get for your squad. Point guards aren't bad. Baron and Derrick Rose, I don't hate that. Especially with 177k, like I think Gobert's a weak spot for sure. That's the biggest spot to me that jumps out at me as like a very weak spot. And with 177k, I mean, you know what I'd probably do, honestly, is buy Sharif Abdul-Rahim, play him up at the backup 4, and then slide Jawan to the backup 5. I think that's the cheapest, best budget way to upgrade this squad. And also, you still have a small forward hole, which again is going to be filled by Lou Dort. So it's going to be Baron, Vince Carter, Lou Dort, Derek Coleman, and Powell. And then off the bench, you got D Rose, either Mullen or Tracy Murray, Tatum, Sharif, and Jawan Howard. That's a good 10-man rotation right there. And honestly, it's not going to cost you much MT at all because the only player you're actually buying is Lou Dort and Sharif Abdul-Rahim, both of whom are relatively affordable. And definitely sell that David Wesley as well. You'll still have probably close to 150k MT even after buying both those guys. So I think that makes the most sense to me, and that's what I would do with this squad currently. And then the last scene today comes in from my boy Big Bird, who says his bench is his starting lineup. He's going to finish Dom soon, so just pretend he has 300k to work with. All right, so we can pretend that. Also, if he finishes Dom, he also has Jalen Brunson to work with, who I think fits in this lineup somewhere, probably over Derrick Rose, in my opinion, if you put a little bit of defense on him. 300k to work with this squad, though. I mean, it's not the strongest squad I've ever seen. I'm not going to lie. Your shooting guards are fine. I think if Brunson and I guess Booker, your point guards, whatever. Tatum and LeBron is like okay. Danny Manning and Jawan Howard, I don't know how good that Danny Manning card is. Joel and Robin Lopez, you definitely need a center. It's one of those spots where, again, Ruland is the best value buy. So if you want a diamond center, you get Jeff Ruland. If you're okay with running Pau Gasol's not a bad option either, and he's cheaper than Ruland. I don't even know if Ruland's actually a buyout anymore, though. I'm not sure if any of the diamond centers are actually buyouts. So if that's the case, you might just be better off getting Pau for the time being. I don't know. I think you got a few different options if you want. For me, I think center's a big option. You either get Pau or you get Ruland, depending on how much MT you want to spend. And then it's like you find a spot for Sharif Abdul-Rahim. I mean, I think he's better than probably Danny Manning is, and he's definitely better than Jawan, so I'd put him at the power forward position if you wanted. Or you could put a small forward, but I don't hate LeBron and Tatum. Lou Dort, also a really good budget upgrade. I've mentioned him for basically every single team. He's got to find a spot in the squad somewhere as well. So Lou Dort, Sharif Abdul-Rahim, one of the two centers that I named. Those are going to be your main spots to upgrade for right now. And then after that, I think it's, again, saving that MT, building that MT, hoping that we get a good budget card or two in tomorrow's drop. Hopefully we get a good budget card or two in Friday's drop. That is what we're looking for. for overall. And with that being said, that is the last team for today's video. So hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back on more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.